What's up, teachers? I've got a tough one for you today. Should students be required to apologize? Should apologies be mandatory or optional? Here are my thoughts. As an elementary vice principal, one of my roles is to support teachers with student misbehavior. Because my community is pretty amazing, this slice of responsibility doesn't consume all of my time, but it certainly has its moments. Even in the best of elementary schools, little humans have problems. They make mistakes. They hurt feelings. They harm other bodies. They throw sticks and stones and break stuff. The problems are inevitable, a rite of passage for any parent or educator. How we respond, however, is a matter of some discussion. Two boys have just lost their tempers on the playground, throwing punches and kicking each other. Two girls have had a bitter disagreement during a collaborative project in class and can no longer work together. How should the well-meaning teacher or administrator proceed? In a sea of great resources available to educators, I'm grateful to the International Institute for Restorative Practices for those practical conversation prompts. I use them often. On the left side, you've got restorative questions. 1, how to respond to challenging behavior. And let me read out the questions. What happened? What were you thinking of at the time? What have you thought about since? Who has been affected by what you've done and in what way? And importantly, what do you think you need to do to make things right? Set 1 on the left guides my questions with students who have clearly committed offenses against others, the building, or something else in the school environment. Set 2 on the right guides my questions for students who appear to be more on the receiving end. Note the last question in each set. What do you think you need to do to make things right? And the slightly different, what do you think needs to happen to make things right? Those questions are so critical to me because they signal our mission. They expose our values as an institution. Contrary to school discipline systems of old, it's actually not my chief concern to mete out swift, precise, and just punishment, as satisfying as that might feel. Studies tell us that traditional consequence systems, as elaborate, heavy, and consistent as they may be, do not typically lead to the lasting character change that we want to see. And they generally don't contribute to culture, although I will agree that there are cases when children must be temporarily removed from communities to protect and preserve school safety and culture. Now, before I lose you, it's not that I'm against consequences and disciplinary actions. Sometimes they are quite appropriate, and I've delivered them many times myself. But punishment isn't our focus. When conflict and misbehavior occur, our goal is actually healing and restoration. What do you think you need to do to make things right? And what do you think needs to happen to make things right? Think about those questions. So, should we make students apologize? Well, first, let's take a moment to agree that none of us can really force a student to apologize if they don't want to. We can't move their mouths and make words come out. And we certainly can't apply coercion, stress, or the threat of punishment to elicit apologies that basically don't mean anything anyway. When I'm confronted with hard policy decisions, I like to return to this tried and true filter. Is this best for learning, and is this best for kids? These are the two questions that we come back to as educators. They form the filter for just about any kind of K-12 policy decision that you can think of. So when I think about conflicts that occur in my elementary school, when I consider cases where students have harmed other students, staff members, or property, I think about the steps that must be taken in order to make wrong things right, to repair what was broken. And friends, I just cannot see a world in which harms have been repaired and relationships have been restored that does not involve apologies. Sure, some apologies are fake or they're only half authentic, but all verbal apologies still require looking at another human being. They still require naming the offense. They still require explaining why the offense was a problem. They still require committing to do better, and they still require asking for forgiveness. Colleagues, these are life skills. These are skills that our children will need in order to survive and thrive as adults, partners, parents, and leaders in our communities. So no, as long as I'm in my current role, an apology won't be a mere option for the next student who punches another. There won't be any skating by big mistakes as if they never happened, or apologizing if and when they feel like it. At my school, apologies will be a requirement because that is who we are and that is what we do. We own our mistakes and we repair the things that we've broken. And that's why I'm in favor of forced apologies. Thanks for listening to this vlog post here on the Teachers on Fire YouTube channel. I've changed up my content style for this year. You'll hear this episode also on the podcast, and I look forward to bringing you more episodes just like this one. If this was helpful to you, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now, teachers. Have a great week.